What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry about last night. I could not for anything get my internet working consistently because of the windstorm. So I'm very sorry about that. We just had to move it to Monday, and it worked out. We have two great guests on here. One I'm really looking forward to hearing from and his perspective, and the other one, he's on here quite a bit. Can't wait to hear his perspective either. You know, we are in the middle of a global conflict, and I want to hear what other combat veterans, what goes on in their minds when they hear we're getting into another global conflict, because it's important. I think that we have a different perspective than most because we've been there and we've done that, right? So welcome in, everybody. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely hit the share button and comment where you guys are tuning in from and what branch you guys served in. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. Let's go. I still love that intro. I hope you guys do too. Been kind of working on things, making the stream, the show look more professional. I hope you guys like this setup a lot more. I worked pretty hard on it. Just want to make the show look as professional as possible for you guys because you guys deserve it. So yeah, I've been working hard on that and doing more on the Facebook side of things. There is one thing that I want to talk about before we get into our topic tonight. And it goes without saying, and it says it down at the bottom. I do not care who you voted for. I don't care what you believe in policy-wise. We each have our own views, and that's okay. The men and women that have served this country and the men and women that are currently serving this country have fought for your right to do that. A lot of people have opinions on what's going on right now, whether they like it or they don't. One thing I will tell you is that this channel has been designed to put the soldier, put the service member in front of everything. Meaning, I do not care who you voted for. I don't care what your political affiliation is. It does not matter to me. On this show and on this channel, we do not talk politics. And the only reason why I say that is because I had some comments on a video, or not a video, but like a post. So I just wanted to make that clear. There's a million and one places to be able to talk about who you believe in, what you voted for, what you like, what you dislike. I could care less. Here we put the soldier first, the service member first. So, and that's what we talk about. We are a bunch of veterans healing together. If you are new here also, Operation Intel is one of those channels where we come together as a community to talk about our service and life after service, okay? And then sort of like tonight, what we're doing also is we're talking about real life events that are going on right now and the mindset of a veteran, because I think that that's important. I truly do. So that's what this channel is designed to do. So the biggest thing in the news right now is obviously what's going on over in Iran. And politics aside, when being a combat veteran, I have a lot of different mixed feelings about it, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. My personal feelings are this. When I hear that, I'm scared for our servicemen and women more than anything. And not so much scared as in I don't believe in our military is strong enough to be able to handle what they're going through, because they are. They're trained they're the best military in the world. We are. But what we have a problem with in this country is the 22 a day. That's what we're trying to combat. And that's what I worry about. The men and women that are coming home from this conflict, what are they going to come home to? And that's the hard part for at least me. And I know most of you guys feel the same way. I have the utmost respect and confidence in the people that are currently serving in the military. I truly do. I believe that we have the best military in the world. So the conflict itself doesn't scare me. But what does kind of bother me is however much longer this goes on, what happens to the servicemen and women of this country that have now seen combat? Because as of right now, we're not doing a very good job at taking care of veterans. We are trying to fix that as a community, and I think we're making great steps. But I also think we have a lot of work to do, and we're going to have a lot more people coming home that have a lot of issues going on, and that'll be even worse if we get into a ground conflict, I think. Yeah, Matt Galuso, absolutely. And here's the thing. Whether you believe in the conflict or not, I think when you take a look at it, I think we can all agree that there are men and women on that are over there currently serving that are going to come home, and they're going to deal with what we're dealing with right now or have dealt with for the 20 years. Because here's the reality of it. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. So we got to do better. That's what we are working on, right? And I think we're doing a great job at it. I really do. So tonight, like I said, I have two guests on here. Both are combat veterans. Both are people I respect a lot. They're both viewers of this channel. One helps out a hell of a lot. You guys have seen him on the channel before. The other, let me get them off of mute here. Give me 1 second. One up there at the top is Nick Crouch. You guys recognize him. He's on the show a lot. Combat veteran. I served in Iraq with Nick in 06 and 07. Got medevaced out with him. The other person there at the bottom is a new face to the channel. That's Ray Johnson. Ray is also a combat veteran. His son is currently in the Middle East, and I thought it would be a great perspective. Here on this channel, we've talked a lot about us being soldiers, right? And now we're at the age where our kids are at the age where they can serve, and how much different that is. So I want to hear his perspective on this. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Doing good, Tim.
Doing
Good.
good, brother. Doing good.
Good. So, I haven't talked to you in probably, since this whole thing's been going on, right? I don't think we've really spoke too much about it. And then Ray, I really want to hear your perspective and how much different it feels now for you to have a son over there. So Nick, I'll start with you since you're on the top. What are some of the things that go through your mind when you hear that we're entering in another conflict?
Oh man. The first thing that comes to my mind is the Middle East is an extremely tough place. And I question how much of a difference we can really make over there and for how long. That's probably the number one thought that comes to my mind. The number two thought that comes to my mind, and these aren't in order of importance, just the way that I think about the situation. But yeah, man, the troops that are serving over there. I mean, God forbid there be you know, troops on the ground over there. You're right. Like, we're not prepared to take care of the veterans that came back from Iraq and Afghanistan the way they should be taken care of. If you have been following the VA committee meetings, it's a mess. It's the same political argument between both sides, and I just don't see where we're really making long-term improvements for the care of our veterans, but we keep sending them into wars. So, like you said, man, at the ground level, uh, us veterans are trying to do everything we can. The Blue Star Moms, Books for Boots, all these organizations are doing everything they can. It'd be nice to see some of that effort from the federal government, the people responsible for sending us there.
Wouldn't it? But here's the thing, and I gosh, what I seen it was on I think it was a video that went viral with Carton on it when we got in that firefight. Some guy, and I think it was an older veteran, said old men, gosh, what was it? It was something like old men, no, young men are at war and young men wish they were, or I don't know how it went, but I forget how it went. It just lost me. I had it for like a split second. I swear it was really good too. But it was one of those comments on underneath a video that it just sticks out in my mind, and it kind of describes what's going on right now so perfectly. But yeah, I wish the federal government really would step in and do more for its veterans. You're absolutely right. And I don't know how much of a difference we can make either, because they've been at war longer than my bloodline's been around, right? So it's hard to say. How about you, Ray? Ray, you have a really different perspective. You are a combat veteran. You have a son over there right now that is currently in the Middle East. Tell me, because I couldn't even imagine. And I'm sure Nick's with me. I'm sure the viewers are with me as well. What goes through your mind? Because you're a little bit more invested in it than we are, actually.
Yeah. Well, I speak for myself, but I know other veterans felt this way, especially with the last conflict we were in Iraq. Whenever I went there, my intentions and my purposes were, I'm going to fight this war, hoping my kids never have to do this.
Absolutely.
And then here we are, and my kid is directly involved in it. Um, so it's a very interesting perspective. I get hindsight of knowing what my parents went through while I was there. And I can remember the conversations on the phone with my mom. She's like, I was watching the news and this happened and this happened. And I'm like, where are you at? And I'm like, Mom, quit watching the news. And that's the best thing you can do while I'm over here is do not watch the news. You'll hear from me or you'll hear from the U.S. Army if something happens. And now I see her perspective. And back when I was there, social media was not a thing yet at all. So the difference now is I don't watch the news because I'm taking my own advice. But with social media and all that, it's thrown in my face, and I get all kind of misinformation and pieces of information that throw my anxiety and stress right up through the roof. Thinking, is he okay? Is my boy all right over there? And him being Navy, their communications are a lot thinner than what we had when we were over there, and we could set up comm tents and satellite phones and such. He's very limited. I don't know. I didn't serve in the Navy, so I don't know what ship life is like, but I do know that there's very little communication when you're out there. And so that also adds to the stress and the anxiety of it. But, I keep my faith. I pray daily for him and for all of our service members over there. I currently work at Moody Air Force Base, and I've seen a lot of my customers there are heading out the door going that way. So I have a lot of vested interest in this. As far as politics and all that, like you said earlier, politics is politics, and my politics are like my underwear. They're for me, not for everybody else. And
Yeah, I love that.
So as far as the war goes, the way I look at it is people a lot higher paid than me, a lot higher ranking than I ever was, and a lot smarter than I am about the world and the situation have made this decision. And when we sign that contract, we know we're at their beck and call. And that's one thing I explained to my son before he went in was like, just know, hopefully it never happens, but when you sign that dotted line, you're signing up to go to war for this country, regardless of your belief in the war. I didn't agree with the Iraq war, but I went and I did it. And so it's this is a new spin on things is going from being the one in the conflict and trying to tell everybody back home not to worry about me. I'll communicate everything to you. And now I've been flipped on my head and it's like, what's going on with my son? And then I see news images and articles popping up and I'm like, oh my God. And so, yeah, it's just for me, it's mainly I got to keep my faith. I got to keep my prayer life steadfast. And that really helps me a lot to not sink into that deep, dark, depressive state or that anger state of wanting to suit back up and go back over there to protect my son, who's now a full grown man. He'll be 20 in July. But that's the other aspect that tipped me is that I created and signed my first will at 19 years old, and now so has my son.
Yeah,
That's just something that a lot of people that never joined the military, they don't really think about that. Is I signed my last will and testament at 19 years old. Most people don't do that till they're in their 60s, and
yeah,
it's a real big shift. And I'm just I'm hoping that between myself and my son's stepfather, we're both Army. He's still currently active in the Army. That we can just be a good support system for him when he comes home. And I know his experience is going to be a whole lot different than ours because we were boots on ground. He's boots on water. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. Praying that he makes it back okay. But I can't wait to hear his stories. I can't wait to just give him a great big hug again and be like, he's back. He's back home. And that's what I wish for all families of anybody who's got anybody over there serving right now. I pray that for everybody, that soon you'll be able to hold your loved ones again.
yeah, and gosh, man, that it it brings a whole new perspective to it, right? Because we've all seen combat. One of the things that you said was, and I think me and you talked about this too, Nick. The first time I was hit by an IED, I called my uncle and aunt who had just lost well, my uncle lost his son. And I was like, I just got hit by an IED. I just wasn't thinking, right? And they didn't know what to think either. But now looking back on it and having kids of my own, and I'm not in the same shoes as you right now because to be honest with you, much respect to you because it's a hard thing to do. I know it is. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't imagine that feeling knowing that my son, I think that's a lot harder than actually putting boots on the ground. It's having to sit back on your couch going, I wonder what he's doing. Or you know what I mean? That's tough, man.
It's like I want to catch a one-way flight out to that ship right now and be like, hey, I'm here. We got this, buddy. But it's like, I know it's impossible, but man, if I could make it happen, I would make it happen real quick. It's like I had no intentions of ever wanting to go back and do any of that again. But now that my blood is over there, yeah, you got my attention, and I'm ready to roll.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. But like me and Nick were talking about, I just hope that we have something in place to support those people when they come back, because that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Whether or not the war is just or what they're doing over there, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't matter if I care or not. We're over there.
It's happening.
If I don't like it, guess what? Who the hell cares? Nobody. It's not going to change anything, right? It's just so the important thing.
F-18 is going to keep on flying.
They're still going over there. The most important part to me is setting up some sort of community or something to where when they come back, they have people to talk to. Because to be honest with you, a lot of us didn't realize we had as many issues as we have until we got out, right?
I don't know if you guys went through that post evaluation after you come back from the deployment, asking do you have ringing in your ears, or do you have any thoughts or anything like that going through your head? And I remember my sergeant told us, he said, if you know and you're sure of it, say yes. If you don't know, put I don't know. He's like, because this can come back and haunt you later in life. If you say, no, I don't have ringing in the ears, no, everything's hunky-dory up here. At the time it was, we just got out of there. We were back home. Yes, finally. But weeks, months, year, 2 years later, then it creeps up on you. Then it starts hitting you when you're actually moved back into the world. It's like, what the hell happened? Where am I? Who am I? What is my purpose? What is my mission? What do I do now? And I don't trust crowds of people. I don't trust being on the road. And, it all comes back and creeps up on you. And I don't know about you guys. I did the 04, 05, 06, 07 rotation. They had nothing in place for us when we got back. Nothing. Yeah. I mean, we just went through that little questionnaire and talked to the counselor. How are you doing? Well, I'm doing great. I'm back home.
Well, me and Tim,
why don't you talk to me about 6 months down the road?
Yeah.
Me and Tim had a little bit different experience. We were both evacuated out. So we were Iraq in the medical system. So we went Germany to Launchstold and Brooks Army Medical Center. So it was a little bit different for us. Yeah, but I mean, we had that same mindset though. Like we knew that we had issues. But like,
we didn't care.
when you open the gate and said you can roam free, my issues were the last thing on my mind. You know what I mean? I just spent 15 months at war, and now I'm in Germany. Like, yeah, but I think that we have the tools. It's been recent enough. I mean, there was a big gap between Vietnam and what we went through, and there were some conflicts between Vietnam and when we went, and then we went to 20 years of fighting, right? Like the amount of IED encounters by troops and stuff like that. Like you're talking a World War I scale with armor in between, right? But the brain injuries, there's probably more brain injuries out of Iraq and Afghanistan than out of World War II, because there was no armor between, right? Guys were getting maimed. Like there was a lot of visual wounds, and a lot more people who came in close contact with those explosions unfortunately didn't make it back here. So like when we were in Iraq, we didn't have an IED count for when you got pulled off of mission, right? And they instated that after we left. But I mean, dude, we were out there getting hit by dozens of IEDs. I mean, like I would say probably 75% of the troops in the 2 platoons that we were in Iraq with had 10 or more detonations directly on their vehicle, you know? So we had no clue what was real. I mean, we knew we had headaches and we had heard the word concussion, but this is before even like CTE with the football players, all that stuff's all post when we went through the system. At least now we have guys with the knowledge to talk these guys through the process when they get back. Hey, man, this is what this feels like. This is what this looks like. Don't be an idiot like we were, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, some guys are going to have to learn their lessons the hard way. They're going to be hard headed, but at least we can educate them and try to avoid. I mean, you talk about 17, 18, 19 years between combat and real treatment. That's a recipe for disaster. And
Yeah.
the system will let you fade off, brother. It will let you
Oh,
fade off, and it will never come looking for you. You have to be. I probably put more effort into getting treatment from the VA than anything else in my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a frustrating, hard process, and I'm not one of those guys who doesn't have the paperwork in place. My injuries, my experience in Iraq is all documented, and I
Mhm.
still have to fight to make sure that I'm getting treatment. So,
Yep.
One of the good things that I can see out of this is that we are so close in time proximity, right? Where, like you were saying, Nick, you know, Vietnam was so far off the Iraq and Afghanistan conflict that you didn't get to talk to Vietnam vets unless you went to like I don't know, American Legion or something like that, right? Now it's
yeah,
a
those
little
guys
bit
were
different.
dug in, bro.
Yeah. But
In my
now,
American Legion, I'm the youngest guy there.
yeah. Isn't that crazy? It
Yeah.
is. But now, if we take a look at it, now that there's more information out there on social media, there's not only channels like this one, there's other channels out there as well trying to lower the veteran suicide number. So they're doing their part as well. We got a lot more nonprofits that are helping out than what we did before we got started. I can promise you that. There's a system in process. There's a system in place for these people to come back, these servicemen and women to come back. I think that's going to help out a lot. But I think it's our knowledge. I think, you know, channels like this one where they don't have to be so much interactive, but they can learn from our mistakes and hear us talk about what we wish we would have done better. Because here's the thing, look at all the stuff that was missing off of my DD-214. I was directly hit by 10 IEDs and an RPG. I do not have a cab. I mean, that's I know it's just an award, but it's one of those things where now if I look back on it, I'm like, hey, check your DD-214. Make sure everything's correct because you're going to need that stuff. You might be like, well, I don't want to spend another day in the military. I'm just okay, well, I'll fix it later. I promise you it's going to be harder to fix later than to stay an extra day and get that stuff figured out. We have a lot of experience. And, you know, when your son comes back, hopefully, I would love to have him on the show. I'd love to hear from him and hear his experience. I think that would be a really cool perspective as well. But
yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah, I know everybody would love to hear some stories from him as well, because I'm sure we would love to hear some stories. I know Nick would. So yeah, I think, you know, getting those systems and processes down would help them out a lot to not go through what we went through.
Yeah, and another thing too is, man, building these communities, like a big difference between sending your grandson to war and sending your son to war, and it brings up we have a saying at the ranch, right? And these communities are going to be important. The rule at the ranch is you're not allowed to teach anyone how to ride a horse if you've seen them naked, right? That goes for your wife. That goes for your kids, because it doesn't set the same when that bond was that close, right? So when one of the pastors I listen to, he talks about it even with like this guy's a famous pastor, like one of the biggest pastors in the United States, and he talks about how important it was to have a mentor for his son, to lead his son in Christ. You know, of course, that's our job as fathers, but that only can go so far. Eventually, them boys say, "Don't worry about it, Dad. I got it." You know,
Yeah.
and you have to have like that degree of separation for those kids to talk to an older person who didn't change their diapers. It just sits different. So that's going to be extremely important for us as fathers when our sons are coming back from stuff like this, to have other guys that we can say, "Hey, look, Ray, my son's coming back. You know, I'm worried about him a little bit. You mind reaching out and talking to him, tell him a little bit about your experience?" We're going to need that because they're going to open up differently to guys who aren't their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But then, it goes the other way too. Whereas, like, we're now parents, right? We're dealing with a whole different line of stress. Ray, I swear to you, buddy, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes right now because I know I would not deal well with the anxiety and stuff. But there are people that, because there's a lot of pent up like anxiety in you, I'm sure, because you know what that's like over there. But it's good to have a community behind you to be like, if you need something, pick up the phone. We're here for you. Not only your son, we're here for you as well, because you're a part of this community as well. I think that's important as well.
Yeah.
Let me, Ray, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy, buddy? Because I'll be honest with you. I swear to you, I would be in front of that TV at all times, and I know it would be the worst thing in the world for me. But what are you doing to keep yourself busy?
My job, I supply all the airmen at my Air Force Base with all their individual equipment, plate carriers, windy helmets, all the stuff that they need for deployment. So each time I'm sending one of these guys out with their equipment, I'm thinking, this is somebody's son or daughter as well. I'm not alone in this. There's thousands of parents out there that are feeling the same way as me. And it's communities like this. My discipleship group at church, we're an all men's group. I have a Navy veteran in there that's a retired chief, and he actually has people that are on the same ship as my son. So he communicates with them a lot for me because he has a direct access to those guys. And it really comes down to its community and keeping yourself busy and away from the news channel. Because I'm like we were talking about politics, the media fans flames. And they do it in politics, they do it in war, they do it in anything to get ratings. So they're going to give you the worst possible stories, the worst possible scenarios, the most bloodiest massacre things that have happened in that war. And your loved one may not even be nowhere near any of that. So it's best to just keep in contact with any type of chain of command you can with them. Keep in contact with your loved one as much as you possibly can and have a community of support. I can't stress that enough. You got to have the community of support. And I know not everybody follows the same religions and faith. If you have a faith, by all means, dive into it because that helps me the most of any of them is my faith. To just know that, I don't have control over nothing that's going on in this world, but one person does. And I can talk to them and see if they can just work on my behalf and try to, that gives me peace, that gives me comfort. And, I stay in prayer constantly about it and stay busy and away from the news. And I talk to my men's group about it. My whole church, including my pastor, has put it out to pray for my son and his crew and everybody else going over there. So a lot of that really uplifts you and lets you know that you're not supporting your loved one by yourself. There's a lot of us supporting your loved ones, even if we don't know them. And like the difference between the Vietnam War, those guys came back getting spit on. That could possibly happen to our guys in this one because, like you said earlier, the whole politic thing. A lot of people do not agree with this. A lot of people hate that we're involved in this. And these guys could get treated like crap when they come back. And it's really important that we stand strong, support them, love on them, and just prop them up and keep them from falling down like a lot of us had to fall down on our own, and just give that hand up and keep these guys motivated and standing on their own 2 feet and not have to go through a lot of the things that we did.
Yeah.
I just keep my mind on those kind of things just to keep me on the. I got a mission right now: get my son home and get him taken care of. And I'm gonna stick to that mission, and that's going to keep me focused until this is over with.
Yeah. Well, I can make one promise to you, and I know everybody in the chat here is with me. I know Nick is as well. If it would be a very big mistake for people to treat them like crap, because we're still young. We're still young enough.
That's one more good one in me.
Yeah.
Here in Louisiana, we believe in minding our own business quite a bit, but we got lines you don't cross. And I don't know if you've seen how many of the guests on this show have been from Louisiana, but if it's plain lands here, brother, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I promise you that.
Yeah. I can promise you that we're still young enough. See, the difference is the people from World War II and stuff like that, they were older. That wouldn't fly. You got me fired up right now. Oh my God, I wish somebody would. I wish somebody would.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Yeah, you got me fired up on that one. But no, I think
it's unfortunately in the way the world is right now, I mean, that can possibly happen depending on where these guys go back home to.
Yeah.
Different parts of the country have a different outlook on this whole thing, and they don't understand these guys are just doing their job and following the orders like they're supposed to do. And
that's
a lot of them may not even believe in it, but they have to do it.
That is the biggest problem, and you hit on something that, and I'll be honest with you, pisses me off, because you get these people that think our servicemen and women have a say-so in where they go and what they do. And here's the thing: once you sign on that dotted line, and if you're listening out there and you have one of these mentalities where, well, I just wouldn't go, well, enjoy Leavenworth. But I can promise you that once you sign on that dotted line, you understand that your life belongs to the United States of America. It doesn't matter where you're going. It doesn't matter if you believe in it, if you don't believe in it. It doesn't matter. That's not what you signed up for. You didn't sign the contract saying, hey, I'll go if I believe in it, but I refuse to go if I don't. Like, that's not even an option. And unless you want to spend a long time at Fort Leavenworth, you go. And it's because of the people that signed on that dotted line to go wherever and whenever the United States of America needs them. It's because of men and women like that this country is free for people to voice their opinions like that.
Yep.
Sorry, you got me fired up again. There's just, after so many comments on different like things that you see on like our shows and stuff like that, and I get it, everybody has an opinion, right? But some opinions are very stupid. And you know, that's the biggest thing that I can say. And I try to stay as, you know, professional as possible. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, because those servicemen and women they signed up to do a job, and they're just doing what they're told. And it takes men and women like that to keep this country free. Nick, you were getting ready to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, like, it's very easy for people who have never engaged themselves in anything challenging or worthwhile doing in their life to say, I would just quit or I wouldn't go, right? It's one of the major problems in this country that we have now is we have too many people that just quit and too many people that just don't go. And all they do is sit back and type out opinions on the internet, man. The young men and women who join the armed forces to protect this country, they make that commitment. I don't care where they get sent, what the mission looks like. You should stand behind those men and women. Leave the politics to the politics. These guys have just as much say so as we do, which is zero. Our opinions don't matter, right? They don't matter. As a civilian, your opinions don't matter unless you're out there doing something about it. And you know, for me, I joined the Army in the midst of the war in Iraq. I was in 7th grade when the Twin Towers were hit. I knew where I was going and what I was going to do. A lot of these young men and women joined in peacetime.
Yeah.
They joined in peacetime, man. They had no idea Iran was going to happen. And wrong or right, it doesn't matter. These are the young men and women who stepped up and took the step forward to stand in front of everybody else. And you're going to sit your old lame butt on your keyboard and bash these guys, man? I don't know. Sometimes I wish I could just, have one-on-one conversations with those people, but it's not even worth paying attention to, man. The people who sit there and do that, they're not worth our time, worth our effort. We're here to support the troops, and that's what we're going to do.
Go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
That's the way I look at it. If you've never served something that's greater than yourself, your opinion really has no meaning and holds no weight. If you can't put yourself on the back burner for a greater cause, I really don't want to even hear your opinion, because that's what this country was built on, was selfless service, was people standing up saying, we're going to take care of this, we're going to do this without being told to. We're just going to do what needs to be done. And that's what I find is the greatest part about our country, is that we have volunteer armed services. And we still have people sign up to go defend us to this day. And I'm very, very, very grateful for that.
I think we all should be, right?
Yeah.
One of the things Nick said, he said, hey, you both said it. If you haven't done anything, your opinion really doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you, or anybody. But in all actuality, our opinions about it don't even matter that much to me, if you want to be 100%. But, it takes me back to yesterday when I was, I had posted the event for tonight's rally point, and I was posting in different groups and stuff, and some guy, I forget his name, but he tried to bring up politics and stuff like that. And I said, you're happy to go onto another channel and argue politics until your thumbs wear off. But that's not what this channel's designed to do. It's to support veterans. And he said, pretty sure veterans are getting tired of this too. Also, now you're speaking for veterans. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when you're not in the military, never been in the military, but you speak for people that are in the military. That will drive me nuts more than anything. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't been there, if you've never signed on that dotted line, don't speak for a veteran. Because don't put words in our mouth. But I can promise you one thing, Ray. If that, because it's still right at the front end of my head, I'm sitting here thinking, God, if that were to happen, do you understand the amount of veterans that would come out of the woodwork? Like if they got treated like because
I know I'd be one of them. Real quick.
Yeah. I know. I know quite a few as well, and so does Nick. So
I know my brother Mac down there in that chat somewhere. I know he'd be there too.
No, listen. You got people say, yeah, same thing. Hey, I mean, Matt Caluso already said, he said, if you're going, I'm going, brother. So,
We'll do it one more round, brother.
Oh gosh. Well, I may be able to do one more. I don't know about 15 months or not, but I may have about a solid 3 weeks in me. I got an Air Force deployment in me.
I ain't got that kind of longevity. I ain't got that kind of longevity in me no more, man. I don't want to do nothing for 15 months.
No. I might show up on the carrier and hit the right red button and say, let's end this thing right now.
Yeah, I know, right? As long as they let me take my daily nap, I'm good.
Right?
Oh, God.
I just about can't stand a vacation for no more than 4 days, man. I don't know what 15 months looks like.
Man, listen.
I would say this about the guy that wanted to make a comment. I sure hope he's watching right now. Like we said earlier, politics aside, I'll put my one piece of politics out there. I did vote for this president, and this president sent my son to war. I have every reason to be furious, mad, angry, want him out of the office, Congress, Senate, and everybody. I want them all out because they sent my son to war. But at the same time, I know war is inevitable as long as human beings inhabit this earth. War is inevitable. We are going to end up in a war at some time. Like I said earlier, I didn't agree with the war that I was in, but it had to be done. And we went and did what we had to do. And I was talking to somebody not long ago about that, and I was like, have you seen Iraq lately? It's gorgeous. I don't know about when you guys were there, but I know when I was there, it was a poop hole. It was nothing but blown up brown buildings, dirt, dust, and crappy cars. Now they look like Dubai and Baghdad. I'm like, what? So we made a change for the better in that country. And that made me feel a lot better about that whole situation with that war. I was like, because I did meet a lot of the local nationals, and not every Iraqi person is a bad Muslim.
No.
There was a lot of them that were really, really good, fine people that, I even saw one that was shot because he refused to join Saddam Hussein's army. He had the bullet holes to prove it. They shot him and thought they killed him. And he didn't die. So, I know people have their own opinions, and everybody, all the news outlets have did all this, but I know we've been fighting with these people for 47 years. It was bound to come to this eventually, and it just so happened it happened now. I just hope and pray that we get it done, accomplish the mission as fast as possible, lose as little lives as possible, and get out of there. I think that should be everybody's mindset, really, is just let's get whatever we need to get done and get our people back home.
And I think
regardless whether you agree with the president or any of that crap, it was going to happen. It may not have been him. It could have been Obama or the next president. It was going to happen. Yeah. And now it's happened. So let's accomplish the mission and get our people home.
I stand behind that statement 110%. My hope, and I pray that we don't spend 20 years over there with boots on the ground. Right. That's what I hope and pray for. If you're going, and we all three know this very well, when the gloves come off and you don't hold U.S. military members' hands behind their back and you actually let them fight, this war won't take long. That's the rules of engagement. If you don't know them, they tie U.S. servicemen and women's hands behind their backs. And that's one of the reasons why that war took so long, is because of the rules of engagement. And the U.S. military is the strongest military. People can say, "Oh, you lost the war in Iraq and Afghanistan." Well, you can say that. You can say that if you really want to, but did we? I mean, did we really though? Because it's like somebody could have a weapon, be shooting at me, and put that weapon down, and guess what? I can't engage that target anymore because of rules of engagement. let's just hope that they take off the handcuffs. And I'm trying to put this as nicely as I possibly can, because once that happens, that I think that's one of the biggest problems. I do. That's just me personally.
Take the muzzle off and let them dogs eat.
Yep, and we all know
They'll
what
be
happens
out of there in no time.
Yeah. So, well, listen, guys. Thanks for coming on tonight. I really appreciate you both. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? I always ask.
I just want to extend a thank you to all the young men and women who have picked this torch up from us and put themselves in front of every American citizen. What you have done is nothing to be taken lightly, and we thank you for that.
I share the same sentiments as Nick. I do appreciate our next generation who has picked up behind us. I mean, of course, I'm a little biased. I'm really proud of my son. Scared for him, but I'm very, very proud of him because if y'all didn't know, he was Asperger's autism, video game junkie, didn't see much daylight as a child. And now he's a sailor fighting for our freedom and keeping us safe. And that's a heck of a turnaround. And I just wanted to thank you, Tim, you, Nick, and everybody else that supports this channel. This has been the first time I've actually been able to talk about it, get it out, and it really helped a lot. I was a little nervous about coming on here. I was like, do I really even want to talk about this? I might get emotional. I might break down. Didn't happen. I appreciate it, and you guys were great company for this. And Tim, you keep it up, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate this channel and what you're doing. It means a lot.
I'm doing my best, man. But one of the things that you guys just said was that you thank these guys, but we also need to thank the parents that raised these kids as well.
Absolutely.
Because they put values in these kids that they're putting the country first, right? They might have joined at a peaceful time, but it's still signing on the dotted line saying, no matter what conflict we go into, I'm down and I will be there.
Little tidbit, I signed my contract on 9/11/2000. I didn't even notice that until I got out and I got a copy of it and I looked at it and I was like, whoa! And I remember telling the Mets counselor while I was there, I was like, man, I sure hope I get a chance to go to war. And he was like, why on earth would you say that? And I was like, I don't want to do my service and just say I served in the Army and never did nothing. Being a stupid little 19-year-old kid. And a year later, it was like, here you are.
So we can blame it all on you, is what you're saying.
Yep. I'll take the blame for it. I wished it on the year to the day. I was like, I cannot believe I did that.
That is insane. Listen, Ray, if there's ever anything that this channel can do for you or your son, we do have resources also. Everybody on this channel, more than willing to help out. But not only that, I do know where your son is. You know what I mean? I've been probably watching a little bit too much news myself because of it. But I am keeping tabs on it as well. I pray for his safe return and everybody else's as well, man. And if you ever need anything, we're always here. We're a community, and you're a part of that community, so you're our brother.
I sure appreciate that, brother. It means the world to me. It really does.
Definitely. Well, listen, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate you guys. And I look forward to talking to you both here soon. I want to see that computer set up, Nick.
Yeah, face on me after.
All right, brother. Have a good night, guys.
All right, buddy.
All right, good night, guys.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. I don't know what I would do if my son was deployed. Like that whole time that I'm sitting there talking to him, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, how would I react to something like that if my son was over there? And I promise you it wouldn't be as well as what that man's doing. But with a good community back Ray up, have his back, talk to him, we are a community. We want to make sure that if you know somebody that's deployed, let us know, whether it be a family member, a son, a daughter, whatever that may be. I'm gonna have, I may have something in the works for that as well. But that was a hard one. And then once he said, there's a chance of them getting treated like the Vietnam vets, I had never thought about that. But that there is a huge difference now, because us Iraq veterans and Afghanistan veterans, I can promise you, would never let those guys get treated like that. And if they did, there'd be hell to pay. And I would feel sorry for the people that decided that was a good idea, because I can promise you, if you are one of those people, it is not a great idea. That's not a good idea. So that one got me kind of fired up, guys. And then talking for veterans as somebody who's never served kind of gets me going as well. But we will get through it. There's a lot of men and women right now that are serving overseas, and there's more getting deployed every single day. I personally live close to a military installation, and I see a lot of moving parts. But this is our responsibility, and I feel a personal responsibility, and I know you guys do too, that we know these guys and gals are going to be coming home, and it's our job to pave the way for them, to make sure that they know not to make the same mistakes as what we did. Yes, it's a different conflict. Yes, that it's completely different, but the reality is still the same. War is war, and with war comes problems, even if you can't see them. And I do believe it is our job as veterans of this country to pave the way and set an example and let these guys know coming back that the things that they have and that they can learn from our mistakes. That's the biggest thing for me, is being there for them when they get back, and not letting them fall into the same trap that we got into when we got back, going 20 years without talking to the people that they deployed with and talking about their problems. Because if I have anything to do with it, I can promise you that will not be the case. So, moving on from that, this week I do have a couple of nonprofits. The last week I was supposed to have one that got canceled last minute, but I have 3 in the works right now. I'm still doing it. Don't worry. I'm still doing it. It's just getting harder. What I'm having a problem with, and I believe in transparency, right? I had my little funk that I was going through, but the biggest thing that I'm having a problem with now is getting past the red line, or red tape, meaning a lot of these nonprofits that don't personally know one of us have a board that they have to go through to get everything approved. So if you see a little bit of slowdown, don't think that I'm not trying in the background. I am. I've got a really cool one as well that we've talked about a lot on this channel. I'm in talks with them now. I think it's going to be an awesome thing. But I've also been working on the graphics, trying to make that a little bit more professional. As you can tell, everything looks a little bit different. I worked really hard on this, making it very professional. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. Keep those men and women overseas in your thoughts and your prayers. I want to see each and every one of them come home safely to their families and their loved ones. But I also want to let them know that when they do come home, they have a place to come. They have a community to come to. Because Operation Intel Veteran Stories is a community that they can come to. They can talk to veterans that have been there, veterans that have been through the same thing that they're going through. And every single one of us are more than willing to listen to the late night talks, and there's always somebody here to listen. So definitely keep the prayers going for our servicemen and women overseas right now fighting. All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks for coming on tonight. I really appreciate you guys tuning in on a Monday night. I know it's kind of late in some areas on the East Coast. If you have any nonprofits that you want to see highlighted on this channel, send them my way. I would love to talk to them. I'll tell you one thing that I would like to do, and that I just told Nick about this. I really want to get a nonprofit like a regiment. I don't know if you guys know what regiment is, but it is a community of veterans only, that play video games. Before we went on the air, Nick was telling me that, playing a video game kind of eases his mind. And I have used video games all my life to get my mind off of stuff. And it has worked so well. It worked overseas. It worked when I got back home from deployment. I actually played Madden a lot. So much so that I was in the Madden Challenge in 2012 and got invited to New York City for it. I was pretty good. But that has been an outlet for me for so long. Even so much so that when my dad passed away, my dad and my grandma both played video games. My grandma, up until the day she died, she still had a Sega Genesis in her room, and she would play Sonic the Hedgehog. So we're a family that loves video games. But the day that my dad passed away, and they had already came and picked him up and stuff, nobody was at the apartment, and the only thing that I could hear him saying was, "Sit down, play your video game, and get your mind off of this. I'm okay." So it kind of has a personal touch to it for me. I would love to get some sort of nonprofit that kind of builds a military community. If you guys have any connects with regiment that could help that out, send it my way. I would love to have them on as well. So, no, Mikey, I have not. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow I have my schedule planned out. I'm getting a hold of 4 more nonprofits tomorrow. They are one of the ones that I am going to be reaching out to. Yeah. So, all right, guys, it's about that time. I love you guys. Keep not only Ray's son in your prayers and thoughts and prayers, but also all the men and women serving the United States right now. So, like I said, I love you guys. I'll see you later on this week with another nonprofit. Take it easy, guys.